So we just spent $600 on 2 wheel bearings on my daughter's car, and there are 2 Goodwills on my way home. So let's stop at these 2 Goodwills and see if we can find anything to recoup some or all of that $600.
You give off a lot right here. Cool.
Don't ever pass up older hot rollers without at least looking them up. So I know this set because this is something that I added in my Facebook Bolo group quite a few weeks ago. I will be adding that same video to my Patreon account for all of my Bolo subscribers over there.
Just those.
Okay. Just so I can mark it down that you pulled it out of glass.
Do what?
Just so I can mark it down how much you pulled out of glass.
Now there are 2 of these lamps on the shelf and they're priced relatively cheap, but I did do a Google image search and these aren't really selling for much. I always check boxes. Somebody could have bought a new lava lamp and put their older one in this box, but that's not the case.
How you doing today, man?
Good, how are you?
I am doing wonderful.
Good.
Trying to get the shelves back in line.
I'm sure they get messy.
Yeah, they do.
This is one of my favorite Goodwills. I always find great items here, and I could not believe that this was still sitting on the shelf, especially for $4.99. It's always important to recheck comps every now and then, so I used to sell a lot of this Farberware and Revierware, but the price has really tanked on this and the market is very oversaturated, so I don't pick those up anymore. But about 2.5 years ago, those were selling like crazy. This piece of art caught my eye, and if it wasn't so dusty, I probably would have picked it up. But between the dust and the little bit of damage and staining that it has, I do not pick this up. Same thing for this mirror. It definitely caught my eye. It has a really cool graphic, but the graphic is peeling off, so I do not pick this up as well. This is probably why this is one of my favorite Goodwills. They always have a ton of beauty products. So some of these are straight from Target and some of them are just donations. So anything that comes from Target usually is not going to be worth very much money. So I look for the Target tag to make sure, like right here, I missed that this has a Target tag and I set it aside, but I definitely picked up this American Eagle perfume and it is 100% full. It just doesn't have the lid. So I have mine listed for $150 our best offer because the only other one listed on eBay is listed for $265. I did my research and that's just way too much for these. They sell on average between $100 and $150. So this is another brand new sealed beauty product and I only paid $1.99 for that. Now that Young Living item, I end up putting that back. They have a really low sell-through rate and only sell for about $14 to $17. So this is how I sort through beauty products like this. I will go through and anything that I think might be worth a little bit of money, I will set aside and then I'll look everything all up at once. So right now I'm going to look up that Tresemme Wave because again, I don't notice that it has the Target tag on it. And then I also look up that Garnier Fructis puck right there. Now this is Carol's Daughter. It's some type of curl cream and that has a 0% sell-through rate. There were so many of those listed, none have sold. Now I know some Dove men's items are discontinued, but this was not one of them. And then that soap is also not worth anything. So I do not pick up any more beauty products off of this shelf. Those were the only two that ended up being worth anything. Another reason I love this Goodwill is they get a lot of bedding from Macy's and Bloomingdale's. So I have found some really high-end pieces here. The pattern on this IKEA set of curtains caught my eye, so I went ahead and looked these up on eBay, and the last set sold in used condition for $75. Now, unfortunately, the price is being drawn down quite a bit because there are a few people who have these listed in brand new condition for the same price, so I priced mine right along with theirs, which is still a really great profit. I'm paying $5.99 for these, and I have them listed for $75 or best offer. Just like the IKEA curtains, these shoes caught my eye, so I did a Google image search, and it looks like the last pair sold for $45 plus shipping on eBay, and these ones are only priced at $5.99. If you sell shoes or plan to sell shoes in the future, it's very important to check them for dry rot. A shoe can appear perfectly fine, and then your customer receives them, wears them once or twice, and the shoes literally disintegrate as they're walking. So to check that, usually do the bend and twist test. So these ones, when I bent them, there were no cracks, there were no issues at all, so I went ahead and picked those up. Now these Vans caught my eye, and they have a really low sell-through rate, but they did sell for $30 on eBay. But they are a women's size 5, and smaller shoes like this take forever to sell. So that is the only reason I put these back. It can be very time consuming to open every single purse and look for a label. So I look through my purses by feel. So I'm feeling for something with a higher quality or something that is leather. If you notice, I did the same thing for the throw pillows as well. I didn't check for a label. I just looked at the pattern and then I squeezed the pillow to see what it felt like. On the zipper pull of this purse, I notice it's marked Lug, which is a really great brand. I've sold these before, and these sell pretty quick. So the last one I had sold within a week. I paid $5.99 for this, and I'm gonna list it for $30 or best offer. So my running total up in the corner does account for my cost of goods. So I have subtracted what I would be paying for these items, but I have not accounted for any of my platform fees. Most of my items do sell on eBay. That is my most active platform, I would say. I do cross-list using List Perfectly to Mercari, Poshmark, and Facebook Marketplace. But right now, eBay accounts for about 80% of my sales. Just by touch, I could tell this was a really nice leather handbag, and it ended up being the sack. I've only found the crochet bags, so I did look this up before I purchased it just to be sure. I figured it would resell for way more than $8, but I just wanted to check, and I definitely picked this up. This was the last item that I ended up finding at this store, but check out these Nikes. So at first, I'm kind of on the fence. Maybe I should look these up just because the shape on that heel is really odd. So I'm just looking for heel drag, looking for any damage, and then right here this heel is split really bad. So I didn't even end up looking those up. I just put them back, and I spent a total of $42.76 at this store. After fees, I'll probably profit somewhere around $330. That was the best I've done at this Goodwill in quite a while. That was a really great stop. Now the next one I'm gonna stop at I have not been able to find anything at this location since they changed locations. So it's located in an outlet mall close to me, well, close to here, and they used to be in a really small space. They moved to a bigger space, and ever since they moved, I just have struck out. They sell a lot of clothing. Their hard goods section is really small. I'd say it's about 4 racks. So let's go see if we can find something there. And then if we have time, I will stop at Goodwill at home as well. So I ran comps in the store by using Google Image, and they were all over the place. But these Reeboks are in really nice condition. I went ahead and picked them up. Now, I still don't know if these are vintage or if these are the remakes, but either way, they'll sell for between $40 if they're newer and $75 to $100 if they are older. I'm leaning towards these being more newer than older for sure, though. Usually I am really fast to look up comps. It takes me maybe 30 seconds to decide if I'm going to buy an item or not. And I contemplated over these Coogee shoes for probably 3 or 4 minutes. So I looked up comps. I saw that this red pair had sold for $100. They do offer free shipping, so they probably sold closer to $80. So I'm gonna price mine at the same thing, $100 best offer plus shipping though. And this will be another item that I'll just have to wait and see what type of offers come in. Or you never know, they could sell really fast overnight for full asking price. I usually don't pay $20 for shoes as well, so that was another hang up that I had. I had already looked through the hard goods and the handbags at this location, and I did not find anything. So that's when I started looking at shoes. They always have a ton of shoes at this location. Now this is another pair of shoes. I did not end up purchasing these ones, but I researched these shoes for probably 3 or 4 minutes, and I just couldn't find anything that was solid enough for me to pick these up. And this is a prime example of why I look items up, and sometimes I just don't go with my gut when it comes to shoes and clothing, just because this is not my forte at all. So I assumed that these Ed Hardy boots were gonna be big money. And at the last minute before I decided to pick them up, I thought, let me just look these up. So these have a horrible sell-through rate, and they're only selling for $40-ish. But what's so funny, when I comped these in the store, I couldn't find any solds, but yet when I comped them for the video, I find 2 solds. But even with those 2 solds, this is out of season now, and they're not selling for very much, and they do have a slow sell-through rate. So once I looked them up, I put them back on the shelf. These were 2 really good stops. I'm not too sure on those Coogee shoes if they're gonna sell for as much as the red comp. I'm hoping they will, but I guess we'll just find out. I am going to list them for probably $100 or best offer and cross-list them to Mercari, Poshmark, and Facebook Marketplace on top of listing them on eBay. Now, if only these items would sell as fast as we spent the $600, but that's definitely not the case. Some of these items, like shoes, you need the right person looking for that exact shoe who wears that exact size. So some of these items could take a while to sell. But either way, this was definitely a great day out thrifting, especially because I only spent, I'd say, about 45 minutes between both of those stores. So it was a really fast stop, and I found really good items. I just started my Patreon account yesterday. I just posted my first Bolo video in that Bolo group this morning. So I would like to thank everybody who has joined, which is Linda Sadler, Copper, Megan Brodhag, Kim McGill, Tammy Wilson, Barb Randolph, Lisa Garcia, and Jeanette Bishop. So thank you guys so much for supporting my page. By subscribing to this group, it helps me take time away from my actual eBay business to be able to record videos and share information with people. So I really appreciate that. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on Tuesday on my next video.